vegan and how she got into it and how she's a yoga instructor. I remember when I was, when I was 12, I made the decision to become a vegetarian. And this isn't about GMOs. It's not about being a vegan. It's not about being vegetarian. But that's what started me thinking about how GMOs were potentially affecting my diet. Was when I became a vegetarian, I had to think a lot more carefully about the food that I put into my body to make sure I was getting the right nutrients. And I've been an athlete since I was 12, since I made that change, and people told me that wasn't possible, that I wouldn't be healthy being a vegetarian, I wouldn't be able to compete at a high level. And since then, I've gone to nationals competing in cross-country races and those types of things, and I've continued to run throughout my life. I think it's a really good way to stay healthy. Don't listen to what people say when they say that you can't be healthy by eating right, and it's really important. So I would like to start with talking about some myths about GMOs, and you can help me out. Tell me if this is a myth and what you think about it. So the first one, genetic engineering is just an extension of natural breeding. Have you heard that before? Has anyone told that to you before? Has a science teacher told you that? Has a neighbor told you that? It was just an extension of, a natural breeding process. My grandfather bred horses, he bred roses, all types of things. GMOs are not the same. So the truth, genetic engineering is different from natural breeding and poses special risks. And those risks we are consuming. Myth 2. GM foods are strictly tested and regulated for safety by the federal government. Who is regulating the GMOs? Does anybody know? Oh, Monsanto. So the company that is producing the GMO foods, the seeds that they're trying to sell, they're the ones that are regulating the seed that they want to get into the market. Does that sound right to you? I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me. The truth is, GM foods are safety tested by the developer companies, yes, Monsanto, and regulation varies from non-existent to weak. Surprise, surprise. Myth 3. The Seralini 2012 rat study was bad science and no conclusions can be drawn from it. Is anyone familiar with the Seralini study? Does anyone think that conclusions can be drawn from that study? Well, in truth, it is the most detailed and thorough study ever done on a GM food and its associated pesticide. And so yes, it has given us a lot of information about what GMO foods can do. Myth 4. Genetic engineering will deliver more nutritious crops. Have you been nourished from GMO crops recently? No, I guess I haven't either. I haven't felt particularly nourished. No, GM crops, no GM crop that is more nutritious than its non-GM counterpart has been commercialized, and GM is not needed for good nutrition. I don't feel like I need to have GMO foods in my diet, and I'm doing just fine. Myth 5. Roundup is a safe herbicide with low toxicity to animals and humans.
Que Roundup es seguro para los animales y los seres vivos.
Thanks. Would you give your child Roundup to play with? I don't think so. Would you want Roundup? Sorry.
¿Tú probarías Roundup para ver si es seguro o no?
Would you put it on your lawn or near your garden where you might eat, vegetables from your garden, or your dog might go out into the yard and play with that Roundup in there? I don't think
¿Tú
so.
dejarías que tus mascotas jugaran en el pasto que es tratado por Roundup? No lo creo.
Myth 6. Genetically engineered crops increase yield potential. Genetically modified crops increase yield potential, or genetically engineered crops.
Que organismos modificados genéticamente pueden aumentar
el número de potential.
Potencialmente.
Truth, GM crops do not increase yield potential, and in some cases decrease it.
Los decrimina o los hace menos.
And closely related to that topic, GM crops decrease pesticide use.
Algo relacionadamente pesticidas, los
Use.
pesticidas.
And I haven't heard of that actually happening ever.
Y nunca he escuchado que esto suceda realmente.
So the truth is, GM crops actually increase pesticide use.
La verdad es que GM crops aumenta los pesticidas.
Myth number 8, GM has enabled the adoption of environmentally friendly no-till farming.
Mito número 8, los GMO crops
No-till farming.
no, I don't know. No tell farming, I don't know the word.
I don't know either.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, I don't know either. But the truth is, GM has had little impact on the adoption of no-till farming, and no-till with GM herbicide-tolerant crops is not environmentally friendly. Myth number 9, GM crops can coexist with non-GM and organic crops. What do you think about that? You know, I don't think Monsanto is too fond of their crops being close to another person's crops that may not be using Monsanto seeds. From what I've heard, if those seeds end up in the other field, they're not going to be happy about it either.
Las dos formas de crops o de plantíos no pueden sobrevivir juntos. Es el mito número 9. Se piensa que los Monsanto no puede tener dos crops diferentes sin que uno aplique, modifique al otro. Claro que eso sucede.
And they want to dominate the market with their seeds.
Y quieren dominar el mercado con sus semillas.
And myth number 10, GM crops are needed to feed the world's growing population.
Mito número 9, las semillas modificadas genéticamente ayudan a alimentar a la población.
So I don't know if anyone really believes that. I'm sure I've heard that before, but I certainly don't believe it.
¿Algunos de ustedes creen eso? Yo personalmente no creo en eso.
GM crops are relevant to feeding the world, and they were designed to increase the use of, can you guess it? Roundup and BT.
El aumento de las semillas genéticamente modificadas únicamente ayuda a aumentar la producción de del Roundup Products, el producto de Monsanto.
So those are all the myths and facts that I've got for you, but if anyone else would like to...